And welcome to the K Files. Good morning. I'm Sandra Smith, and this is JP Barnes.
Good morning. Good morning.
In case you're a new viewer, otherwise you know who we are. But good morning, JP.
Good morning, Miss Sandra. Glad to
Have
be
you
back.
with me this morning. You in town on the week for next Thursday, the week of the 4th, or are you gone?
I'm gonna be here.
You gonna be here?
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
Me too.
Mhm.
Me too.
I might pull out tonight and go to the beach for a few days, but other than that, I'm gonna be back in time for next Thursday.
Okay, very good. Well, I will be too. So, you know, we were talking about, you were just talking about Night Out Against Crime. Tell everybody, JP, how important, why they have that, and how important it is.
You know, the Night Out Against Crime was started several years ago, and it's to bring the community together with law enforcement and other emergency response to basically demonstrate the importance of why relationships are so important. And like you've heard Sheriff Keith Stone say time and time again, one reason they're able to solve a lot of crimes so quickly is through networking with other agencies, networking with the community, building that relationship with the community so that the community can see day in and day out what you're doing and the importance of sharing information. You know.
And doing the very same thing we do, asking the public to please help and give tips. And if you have a chance to meet law enforcement at that event, I don't know, there's like maybe a trust factor
Yeah.
that
Well,
comes
you
into
know,
play.
Years ago, the only time you had any dealings with law enforcement was roadside. You were getting a ticket for speeding,
Yes.
or you called law enforcement because your home had been broken into. There was no relationship with law enforcement or who served your community. And they have really tried to change that the past 20, 25 years. You know, coffee with a cop. A lot of your local law enforcement are doing that.
Yes.
And it's to build relationships, you know.
Exactly.
So that you could pick the phone up and feel like you've got a relationship with the you stop and think in
Yes.
Nash County there's 4 or 5 deputies that work wherever you live. Do you know those 4 or 5 deputies that work your little community? I can name all of them. You know, most folks cannot.
Well, you need to know
You do.
who
You do.
your law enforcement is
Yeah, you do.
in your area so that, you know, like JP said, so you will call, so you can, if you see any suspicious activity in your neighborhood,
It's a trust factor.
it is.
Yeah, it's a relationship deal.
It really is. So, anyway, so Night Out is coming up.
I did want to share this. There's been a few changes this year. As I was telling you, know, the Middlesex Night Out has grown and grown and grown, and it reminds me of the Nashville Blooming Festival. It's kind of grown so much. There's a lot of vendors that come out and participate. There's live music. They have actually moved it this year from a Monday night to a Saturday night. And I'm going to read you the post that was shared with me. Middlesex Police Department, we are making the arrangements for our National Night Out. It's been changed to August the 12th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. They will be at the Southern Bank parking lot on East Finch Avenue. If you are a vendor or know someone who would like to set up a table at the event, please reach out to Chief Amos at Middlesex Police Department. They have a lot of door prizes that they'll be giving away. In years past, they give away coolers, they give away trailers. They usually give away a trailer every year. A lot of nice catering prizes. My sister Nancy won a $500 catering event for free.
Well,
For
people
like
are
25
willing
people.
for how much?
25 people. Yeah.
God. But
she
see,
sure did.
people, you get nice. There are really nice prizes given away at that event because people are willing to give to law enforcement. Because people want to help. People want to work with law enforcement. So you can really, by going to this event, you can really get some nice, you know, win some nice prizes.
Are you familiar with Ginger Thompson?
Mhm.
The band. Okay,
Yeah, the
she's
band,
going to
uh-huh.
play. She's going to be live music this year. That is such a treat. They have ice cream. They have all types of woodworking vendors. I usually have a spot there. Sheriff's Department's there. giving away all kinds of little neat door prizes. But it is a great community event if you've never been.
Well, I heard it was just huge.
It
For the
is.
little town of Middlesex, they pull people from Raleigh and Zebulon and Knightdale and Rocky Mountain, everywhere. So,
And the only feedback they've ever really had, and I'm not going to say it was negative, but it's constructive. People had always said, "Look, we wish it was on a Friday or Saturday night because we've got to get up and go to work tomorrow." So they looked at moving it to Saturday this year. So who knows? I mean, hopefully it'll be a bigger event and more people will come out and participate, and
Wow.
it'll be that much bigger.
okay. Well, that sounds like a nice event, and we will remind you of that as it gets closer to the time, because August is around the corner. We know that, but
And I think I talked to the mayor of Middlesex, and he may want to come on at some point. And I know
Okay.
Chief Amos may want to come on at some point and discuss it. Who knows? Maybe together. So stay
Okay.
tuned. Stay tuned.
that sounds good. Okay, well, you know the drill. We want tips. That's what we want. That's why we sit up here at 8 o'clock on Thursday mornings. We put this on YouTube. We play it on Friday nights at 7 o'clock, other times as well, because we want tips. We want to solve murders, folks. We want to give closure to families. So, we have $15,000 in the pot, and we're willing to pay you up to $15,000 for a tip, cash money. Put it in your hand. Cash money by law enforcement. They will give it right to you, and it's completely anonymous. We are not going to know who you are, and we don't care. We just want the tip. We want to solve the crime. So,
And a lot of these cases have an additional $5,000
Yeah,
or other monies available
sure
from the
do.
family or the governor's office.
I think we had two last week.
That's right.
Two
We
of them
did.
that had
Mhm.
$5,000
Mhm.
extra, which, Okay, well, we're going to start with Melvin Williams this morning.
Okay, Melvin Williams. This case is from February the 4th, 2020. Melvin Williams, who was 60 years old at the time, was at the corner of Pine Street and West Thomas Street in Rocky Mount in the late night hours when he was approached and beaten by two unknown suspects. The suspects beat him with pipes and a bedpost, striking him in his head and torso area. He went to the local hospital where he was diagnosed with a rib fracture and then sent home. On February 6, 2020, he went back to the hospital with severe abdominal pain and was admitted to the hospital where he declined and ultimately passed away the following day. His death was ruled a homicide by blunt force injuries of the torso.
That was pretty bad.
That's
I mean,
terrible to read.
it is. I mean, pipes are hard.
Yeah, that's
Pipes are tough to get beat with. And a bedpost,
60
Right.
years old.
golly. I wonder if this was just the corner of Pine Street and Thomas Street. You know where that is.
Well, according to the narrative, I mean, it was random.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Just beaten. Was he in his house?
It doesn't say.
It doesn't. Or on the street, or where? Well, he got out of the hospital and then had to go back because he was having severe abdominal pain. So it must have been some internal injuries, and
Yeah.
you can imagine that it would be from a pipe.
Yeah.
So internal injuries evidently, and went back and he died. He passed away in the hospital on 2/6/2020 is when this happened. Hadn't been that long ago, so somebody should know something. Somebody knows something. These people talked to somebody that did this. So
And say what you want. These two unknown suspects are still walking the streets of Rocky Mountain.
yeah,
Or this
absolutely.
area, or this community.
And something else in this book may be something else that they've done.
That's right.
Or something you see on now, a crime that's been committed could be them. So we need to get people off the street. We need you to call the number 406-6736, or you can, if you want to go through Twin County Crime Stoppers, you can do that. It's 977-1111, or you can do the text to tip. This is a Rocky Mount case. Okay. We'll go on to the next one.
Zartavius Henderson. This case is from June 5th, 2020. Zartavius Henderson. Around 11:30 a.m., a shooting took place at the 1200 block of Ash Street near Howard Avenue in Tarboro, North Carolina. When Tarboro police arrived on scene, they found a 19-year-old Zartavius Henderson of Rocky Mount suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Police and paramedics began life-saving measures. Henderson was transported to an area hospital and then airlifted to another hospital where he passed away from his injuries.
Howard Avenue is the road that the street that runs beside Tarboro High School. Right beside Tarboro High School. So I don't know what block, but it was near there.
So he was from Rocky Mount visiting Tarboro around 11:30 a.m. there around the 1200 block of Ash Street near Howard Avenue in Tarboro.
And that's 11:30 in the morning.
11:30 in the morning, broad
Golly,
daylight.
day.
This time of year, it's middle of the day,
Just
broad daylight.
shot in the middle of the day. 1200 block of, it does say 1200 block of Ash Street, which is right off of Howard Avenue. Well, I hope somebody knows something about this case. I feel like they do, and they will come forward, I hope, with a tip.
And get paid.
Yes, and get paid cash money. All right, it's time to take our first break. It seems like it went by so fast.
It does.
Golly, we'll be right back with you right after this. And welcome back. I was going to try to do a hot and now today. There's been several cases, and I want to know what's wrong with people. I saw this morning on Facebook, did you see the guy that's passing out all this, sending it out, I guess, pornographic, just stuff all over the place. And he's under a $200 and some thousand bond, too. They got him.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that.
Oh, God, he's just, you know what? It takes all kinds, don't it?
It does.
I'm telling you. But anyway, yeah, that was just nuts.
Last night, just before I went to bed, I saw where Rocky Mount had a shooting.
Building your...
It was still a shooting, but it had been changed to a self-inflicted gunshot. Gunshot wound.
Well, that's not good,
Yeah.
but at least, it's always good when you don't have a murder.
That's right.
So that's the best way I know how to put it. Okay, we will go on with, we've got a double.
Yes.
Here we go.
And this is Montrell Wilson and Devontae Burton. This case is from June 20th, 2020, relatively new. Montrell Wilson and Devontae Burton. At around 2:15 a.m., Edgecombe County Sheriff's Office received a report of shots being fired at 715 East Lashley Street in Pine Tops. There were over 15 people at the house that was being used as a liquor house when the shooting happened. Pine Tops police were the first to arrive on scene and found that 4 people had been shot. There were 4 victims. Devontae Burton and Montrell Williams were pronounced dead at the scene, while a third person was transported to Vidant Medical Center in Greenville, and the 4th person declined medical treatment. Witnesses advised that a car came by the occupants started shooting at the individuals outside of the residence. Several witnesses on the scene, however, and no one is coming forth sharing information. No one's talking.
This is the cases we talk about. There's tons of people, we've talked about these cases in Whitaker's. There was 2, there's parties, and all of these people are standing around. Well, this is that case where all of these people were in the front yard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nobody will say anything. Folks, you have to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to know who you are.
Yeah. If you don't want to go on the record and give your name, that's fine. Share what you know and get paid for it. Get paid at the $15,000. I guarantee you, everybody there has something to offer. They have some type of information to share, to provide to law enforcement. If you don't want to do it, and you're afraid of being called or referred to as a snitch or a look, share your information anonymously and get paid for it.
Right. And there were over 15 people
Mm-hmm.
at this house. Now, you're going to tell me that nobody knows anything. Yes, they do. And law enforcement knows it. It's like they say in this article. They're just not talking.
Mm-hmm.
You're just not talking. But we need you to come forward. You know what happened. So define maybe I'm just naive. What is a liquor house? What are you doing there?
A liquor house, we've had several of them in the Southern end of the county. A liquor house, okay, there's certain hours you can buy liquor from the liquor store.
Right.
So let's say like on Sunday you decide you need some liquor.
Right.
Well, in every community you know who you can go see to buy liquor. The liquor house is typically like an older house or a semi-abandoned house where you can actually go play music, play cards, gamble, play other games.
Nothing good happens there.
No. But there's different levels of liquor houses, so.
So it's not homemade stuff that you go and buy.
No,
it's
it
just
can
somewhere
be. It can be.
Oh, it can be.
It can be. But the liquor houses that I'm aware of, back in my community, it's where you would go to make purchases of like store-bought liquor.
Right.
But after hours.
After hours.
After hours.
Okay.
Like if you decided you needed a fifth of Canadian Club.
Yeah.
Or something. Literally, this person has got an establishment set up where he could sell you all you want.
Yeah. Well, nothing good happened at this liquor house.
No.
15 people in attendance at something. I don't know what they were having, but
and the liquor houses that I'm referring to, this would never happen there.
Right.
This
Over
wouldn't happen
15
there.
people at the house being used as a liquor house when the shooting happened. So please come forward, folks. I mean, we know somebody knows something. This was in Pine Tops on Lashley Street. I don't know where that is, but, Pine Tops is not so big, but so big. So 715 Lashley Street in Pine Tops. This is a Edgecombe County Sheriff's case. So there was a double homicide there, and 4 other people were, is that what it said? 4 other people were injured? 4 victims. Oh, altogether. So 2 others were evidently injured and went to the hospital or whatever, but 2 others injured and 2 murders. So,
And it just blows my mind that people do not want this, you can say it's because they're afraid. You can say they're scared. It's not. I mean, they could share that information anonymously.
Well, it's kind of ridiculous to start with. It was 2:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
What in the world are you doing? 15 people at 2:15 in the morning?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, anyway. All right. I guess we will move on to John Jermaine Alsby.
Yes, John Jermaine Alsby. This case is from December 16th, 2019. John Jermaine Alsby. Alsby was found dead 1 week after a silver alert had been issued for him. The Weldon Police Department issued a silver alert for the 42-year-old Alsby on December 9th. Osby was last seen on December 5th at 214 West 2nd Street when he left home on a walk and never returned. On December 16th, 2019, Osby was found deceased. His death was ruled a homicide. And that's pretty much all the facts that we have on that particular case.
Yes. Now, a silver alert, JP, is that not normally when somebody has a
Cognitive issue,
issue,
elderly person,
something?
handicap.
Yeah. I mean, they don't just issue a silver alert, but you see missing people all the time. You know, this teenager's missing. They don't issue silver alerts for those people.
Correct. Silver alert is typically for somebody who has an ongoing medical issue or cognitive issue. You usually see it with a lot of elderly people who walk away from a nursing home or something like that.
Right. So that was the case with John Jermaine Osby, 42 years old on December 9th, 2019. So if anybody knows anything.
And kind of like here, I mean, he just walked away. He just walked away and never returned.
Right.
He must have had a health issue or a cognitive issue as well. And I don't know Mr. Osby, but based on the alert, that's kind of where I'm going with that. He may have had something going on with him medically.
And I don't know what he got tangled up in, but
he was clearly, for it to be a homicide, he was targeted.
Yeah, he was definitely targeted, and his death ruled a homicide. So if you know anything, this happened, as you said, this happened on
December 16th, 2019.
In Weldon.
So
West 2nd Street.
Sometime between December 5th, which is when he went missing, to sometime up to December 16th, sometime through that time span, this took place.
Okay. We'll move on to Leonte Bryant.
Leonte Bryant. This case is from August the 9th, 2019. At 12:53 p.m., Rocky Mount received a call about a shooting at the 500 block of Cascade Avenue in Rocky Mount. When they arrived, they found Leonte Bryant suffering from gunshot wounds. He was transported to the hospital where he later passed away. Leonte Bryant.
Not a lot of information there. I mean, not a lot of details at all. Just,
basically,
it was a shooting.
12:53 p.m., August 9th, middle of the afternoon, broad daylight. I'm not familiar with Cascade Avenue in Rocky Mount, but, middle of the day, broad daylight, 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right. Okay, well, this happened in August of 2019. If you remember anything, we surely hope that you will come forward and collect some cash from law enforcement, and it is completely anonymous. All right, it is time for our break and our weather. We'll be right back right after that. And welcome back. All right. We are we're doing some cases this morning. If anybody wants a book, we have new books. There they are. There it is. You can come by the station, pick one up. We're out at Westland College in the Gateway Technology Center. But you're welcome to come by and get a book if you'd like. Very interesting cases in here. People tell me all the time, I really enjoy reading the book. I didn't want to put it down because, it's just things that they didn't know were going on in the community. And, there's so much. Some people tell me, I want to know what's going on in my community. I want to know. Other people tell me, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Because if I know, I won't sleep. And so, I don't know. It's debatable.
I have mixed feelings on it. from one standpoint, if you knew what was going on, it would probably really freak you out as to what's going on in your community. It would scare you.
Right.
And that goes back to like preparedness. And I'm sure, Sheriff Stone would say the same thing as far as carrying concealed. None of us have the luxury of having a crystal ball of knowing the time and date, the manner in which we needed a concealed weapon to protect ourselves or the life of someone around us. If that would be the case, we would make sure that we would have a way to protect ourselves. And we don't have that luxury. That's why it's very important to have the mindset to protect yourself and the mindset to protect others around you that are in your care. And the best way to do that is with firearms training, like Sheriff Stone and Sheriff Atkinson also, do. Take that step to protect yourself, to protect your family, because law enforcement can't be everywhere, every second of every day.
Yeah.
Whether you're in public or whether you're at home, sitting there watching TV, like I tell people, what would you do at 11 o'clock at night if your door got kicked in and 3 guys came in storming your home and your family scattered throughout the house? Do you have a plan for that? It can happen.
Yes,
as we
it can.
As we read this book, it happens.
It happens.
It happens.
Yeah, we read about a lot of home invasions, and it was. I've always said I'd probably have a heart attack. They wouldn't have to kill me, but anyway.
Most folks are going to freeze. Most folks are going to freeze in that spot.
Yes.
And you can't do that.
Exactly.
You've got to have a game plan. You've got to have played the scenario through your mind. If this happens, I'm going to do this.
What is it they tell you to do? Just think about being home during the day. If you're an elderly person, you're probably retired, and you are home and somebody knocks on your door.
Me and my wife have
What
this
do you do?
discussion. My kids, we have this discussion. My kids hate going to the door.
Right.
And I said, look, no big deal.
Right.
Go to the door, adjust the blinds, cough, turn the TV up, make a noise, say
Yes.
I'm not interested, say my dad's in the shower. If you're elderly, say leave.
Right.
Engage the person enough, communicate enough
Right.
to let them know, somebody's in this house.
Yeah, you don't be quiet. People
That's right.
tell me
That's
all the time,
worst thing to do.
I when somebody comes to the door, I try to be as quiet as I can.
Nope.
That is the wrong thing to do, isn't
At
it?
night, it is. At nighttime, look, turn a porch light on.
Yes.
Yeah. Say I'm not interested. If you're alone, pretend like you're talking to somebody in the house. Call
Yes.
your spouse's name and say, hey, call 911.
Yeah.
Even if you're alone, pretend.
Yeah,
that you're
just yell out,
That's
John,
right.
somebody's
That's
at
right.
the door.
That's right.
You
Get the
know.
gun. Yeah.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah.
The worst thing to do is to freeze, get still, and get quiet. No, do just the opposite.
Yeah. And
Just
I know
opposite.
we don't think about what to do, but maybe, hopefully some of this will remind you. That's the reason we say things like this on the show periodically. We bring up things because maybe it will spur something in your mind in case it were to happen to you. I hope it doesn't.
That's right.
But anyway, we always need to be prepared. We need to be proactive instead of reactive. We really do. So
I will
Anyway.
say this too. I just spoke with someone since I've been here at the show, and they had reached out to ask about the Caisson Unit fundraiser. And I wanted to let you know I don't have any concrete dates on that yet. It's typically in November. It's typically $50 a ticket. I do know it's tentatively scheduled for November. It is scheduled.
so they are having it.
They are having it. It'll be a fundraiser for the Caisson Unit, North Carolina Highway Patrol Caisson Unit, and it is tentatively scheduled to be out at Rocky Mountain Mills. I will try to have some more information on that as soon as possible.
Yes, because it is a well attended.
It is.
It's a well-oiled machine by now. It just goes I just love that event. First time I've ever been was 2 years ago when you brought it up on the show. That's the only reason I knew about it. And I've enjoyed going every year and look forward to it. So we'll be talking more about that as time goes on. All right, we'll do maybe one more case today. Where are we at? Anthony Arrington?
Anthony Arrington. Anthony Arrington, this case is from October 8th, 2019. At 3:39 a.m., the victim's girlfriend called 911 advising that her boyfriend, Anthony Arrington, had been shot at 109 Aqua Court in Rocky Mount. When police arrived, they found Arrington in the bed upstairs and suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Despite saving measures, Arrington passes away. To be shot at home inside your bed.
4 o'clock in the morning almost.
4 o'clock in the morning. So, one of two things right out of the gate. This was either a home invasion, which is what we just discussed,
Right.
or
He was targeted.
these people were already inside the home.
Yes, and they were just after
Mm-hmm.
him.
And this goes back to what I was saying. You know, if it was a home invasion, if it was, most people freeze in place.
Yeah.
They're in disbelief. They sit up in the bed and say to themselves, that sounds like my front door just getting kicked in, or that sounds like a window that just broke, and they freeze.
Or he might not have even known what hit him because
That's true.
he was in, it says he was in his bed.
Yeah, that's true.
And boom, you get shot, boom. So, anyway, however it is, it says shot, found in the bed upstairs, and suffering from multiple, so they just kept shooting. Wow.
Yeah, that's
Not good.
Yeah, that's not good.
It sounds like they were after him. to
It
me.
does.
I mean, multiple gunshots is what it sounds like to me, so, but we don't know.
I would love to know what kind of information the girlfriend was able to provide as far as
Yes.
what she witnessed, suspect information, how they arrived, how they fled, how they gained entry into the home. There's a lot of questions here. I hope the girlfriend was able to share with law enforcement.
Well, was she, I mean,
Well,
was she there?
Well, at 3:39 in the morning, I would
She
assume.
was there, but
I
was
would
she
assume.
lucky enough? Was she in the bed with him?
If it had been 7 or 8 o'clock the next morning and it said, hey, she found him, I would assume that she was not
Right,
there. At
but-
3:30 in the morning,
She must have been with him,
I
but
would've-
how lucky was she?
yeah, that's pretty lucky.
She didn't get shot.
Mm-mm.
Well, that's
There's a lot of oddities in this.
It really is. If you know anything about Anthony Arrington, October of 2019, Aqua Court. I don't really know where Aqua Court is. I have no idea, but anyway, 109 Aqua Court, if you know anything. 406-6736 is the hotline number. It will be anonymous, y'all.
You know, there's a lot of cases in this book where people are attacked and killed or assaulted inside their home or in their own yard.
Yeah,
And, you know, that's just a shame.
it is.
The one place you should feel safe
Yes.
from anything bad happening.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. Well, I hope someone will come forth and give this family closure because, you know, this young man had, I'm sure, parents, had family, cousins, brothers, sisters, girlfriend. I mean, all of that.
And again,
And
these
they
people
wanna
who
know.
perpetrated this, they're possibly and probably still at large in this
Yeah.
community
They probably are.
and perpetrating havoc wherever they're at. I
Mhm.
guarantee you.
Yeah. I mean, I dare say there are I don't even know how many people out there, like you said, at large. They're committing crimes all the time. They're still doing it because they haven't been caught.
And it only emboldens that behavior.
That's right. And next time it could be
Mm-hmm.
you or somebody in your family. So if you know anything, you really need to come forward. and let law enforcement know. This would be a Rocky Mount case, so you could call 977-1111, or you could do the text to tip. If we could put the text to tip up also, thank you. There we go. Crime Stoppers. That's Halifax County, but can you find the Rocky Mount text to tip? Is that in there, Pernell? Anyway, he'll look for that. But anyway, you've got a number of ways you can report this, or just call the agency. Just call the police department or the sheriff's department or whatever agency's involved. Say, I don't want to give my name, I just want you to know this. That's all you've got to do. Okay, well, that's all for today. There's the text tip. Take a look. I know the writing is small, but I think you can read the 274637. What's that at the beginning?
I can't tell if it's a 6 or an 8, but I have to wear
Looks
glasses.
like a 6. We need to, we'll do a better job next week of trying to get that a little bit clearer. If we have to put a graphic on the bottom of the screen, that might be the best thing to do, because I think they were sending that from a brochure or something. Okay, well, that's all for today. Thank you, JP.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for having me.
Enjoyed it again, and we will see you back next Thursday morning on the K-Files.